Thank you so much for tuning in to Only a Unique TV. I'm your host, Myrhanda McDaniels, and today we have the special honor and privilege of speaking with the owner and operator of Miss Cia's Potty Training Camp, Miss Trecia Stewart. Trecia, how are you
I'm
today?
doing good. Thanks for having
Oh,
me.
thank you for being here. In uncovering techniques that promote guidance and support for children, the field of early childhood education has journeyed you to life as a certified potty training consultant. Your company's support of families from all walks in their plight to arm their young tots with potty training etiquette. It has sparked a need to dig deeper into the overall world of potty training, but from the perspective of children, creating independence one child at a time. So, Miss Trecia, what called you towards this specific need that our young ones face?
To be honest, I have been doing this for a long time. So I was on maternity leave and I was reaching out to families from my work. And I realized that all our conversations would be centered around potty training all the time. We'll start talking about something else and end up talking about potty training.
Mhm.
So, of course, I was bored. I have lots of help from my mom. So I had a little time to myself. And I thought, I wanted to, get a certification in something. I looked online and I just could not find anything that had to do with, potty training. I was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, this could be something. So I did get certified. Um, Whenever I tell people that I am certified, they're like, what?
I will say, like, I never knew that, a position like yours does exist. And I think that it is a great additive feature in early childhood, learning. The fact that you offer the support to parents who could be expecting, never had a kid
Yes,
before in their life,
yes,
this is the first baby, and
it's
they
amazing.
don't know how to, train, a young one in this area. And so the fact that you have expertise in it and you're able to give that knowledge to these parents in a time where they need it most is phenomenal. When the light bulb goes off and people get amazed that potty training services are available, how often do you find that the parents are relieved?
100% of the time. 100% of the time. They are amazed. And, sometimes I get mostly, at first, I would get a lot of moms, but seeing dads reaching out too, it's just amazing. And it's a network from one parent to the other.
Hmm.
I'll talk to one family member and then afterwards they're like, okay, when I have a baby, I'll make sure I pass the information on, to my sister or my friend or, whoever the person might be. So it's definitely an ongoing thing
Yeah,
from sibling to sibling.
good. Do you find parents may deal with issues that take them away from their children at all?
Yes, as far as work goes, or if even going to the gym, just whatever it may be, you have to be consistent when it comes to potty training. So if one parent does things one way and the other
Hmm.
parent does it another way, that can affect the child.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a separation where mom is gone for the whole weekend. It could be a day and
Hmm.
they're thrown off just because somebody else comes in and messes up the schedule for their potty training. So yeah.
That is good to know. Now, how does not being present? You kind of talked about this a little bit, but we could probably dive deeper if you feel the pull to. How does not being present affect the consistency needed when training?
Not being present. So kids are drawn to people who are more close to them
Hmm.
and who knows them very well. So
Yeah.
in order to potty train someone, and this is why I kind of don't do one-on-one where I'll go and deal with the child.
Hmm.
I rather go through the parent because nobody knows, your baby more than you do.
Right.
So I'll give my advice and I can tell you from A to Z what to do. But if it doesn't align with your child's personality, then it makes no sense.
Yeah.
So I, what was the question? Sorry.
No, 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 you don't apologize. You're fine. So I was saying, how does not always being
So
present, yeah, affect
when
the
you're
consistency?
not there, and somebody else comes in, like I was saying before, if somebody else comes in and messes up the schedule,
Hmm.
that can kind of throw the child off. For example, if the kid usually goes potty right before they go outside, and grandma comes for the weekend and go, hey,
Yeah.
let's go outside, and they're like, wait, this is not, what happens, and kind of throw the schedule off.
Yeah.
That can really, mess things up. Or if someone comes in and they're like, okay, I don't want to deal with potty training, and they go
Mhm.
ahead and put a pull up on the child, that can cause like a big regression if you're not present and to be consistent with whatever plan you're doing with your potty training.
Yeah, that's great to know because I know a lot of parents deal with busy schedules. I mean, we
Yes.
have some that are stay-at-home dads or stay-at-home
Hmm.
moms, but we have a lot of parents in the world who their schedule, like doctors, if
Yes.
you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a police officer, you may not have time to be home with your child 24/7
7.
to
Hmm.
cater to their needs. So knowing that there's an importance in being consistent
Yes.
means that they have to, if they're not going to be that present with their child, they have to make sure that they have somebody in place
Place.
that would impart that consistency in the process of
Hmm.
training. So, what can help to reduce potty training anxiety in our
Preparation. So when you're taking your child to the dentist, you don't just show up at the dentist and say, "Open your mouth."
kids?
You watch you watch little videos. You get books about going. So there are lots of stories out there about potty training. Lots of videos. Just
Mhm.
introduce your child to the bathroom and read books. I know parents are like, "Get out of the bathroom! You're just messing with the toilet paper." And
Mhm.
if for starters, you're taught before they even start walking, they crawl into the bathroom and start pulling on stuff, and you scream at them, and then they go out and they're like, okay, that's a no zone for me. I'm not
Mhm.
allowed to go in there. But then when it's potty training time, you're like, get in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And they're like, but for
You
starters,
told
you
me
told
not
me
to.
not to. It's supposed to be scary in there. Like, let them get used to the sounds as early as possible. Like if they're at the door, flush the toilet so they get you. You have kids who are terrified of just hearing the toilet flush,
Yeah.
and there are tiny little triggers that really affect them from earlier on, and then later on you're like, what's happening? You were fine, but there's
Mhm.
something really tiny that we overlook that you just never know that might be affecting them. So definitely do some early intervention.
Yeah, that's good. Now, what age would you say is the appropriate age to start that intervention?
I honestly don't go by age,
Mhm.
capability. If your
Yeah.
child is capable of sitting up without falling over, once they start sitting up, go ahead and sit them on a potty.
Good to know. What does your training consist of?
Okay, so first things first, I have my clients fill out a questionnaire so
Mhm.
I can get to know their family a little bit, get to know their child's personality. Are they adaptable? Are they like really, really anxious when it comes to any new changes and stuff like that?
Mhm.
So I do that little interview, and then they give me a backstory of where they are. Are they brand new to potty training? Are they dealing with regression? Do they need to do a reset? That kind of thing. And once I get all that information together, I go ahead and I put a plan together just based on their family and find something that works for them. So after our first talk,
Mhm.
I'll do a follow up after I put them on a plan. I have a 3-day plan that's for the weekend, and then I have a monthly plan where, if they want a long term support,
Yeah.
or if they just have a simple question that pops up after we have an initial meeting, I make myself available because I don't want to just give you the information on day one
Mhm.
and then you're left hanging on
Yeah.
day two. Like, what do I do?
And a lot of people today don't even read. Like, if you're giving them a document,
Yes.
they're like, "I'm not reading
And this
this."
is also another reason why, and I am not bashing any consultants who make these classes and post them online, and you do it on your own. It's
Mhm.
not a one size fit all. You know what I mean? So
Right.
when you go and you just put a general statement out there, okay, 3-day potty training, or do this, this, and this, but what if it doesn't work for your family? So
Mhm.
this is why I like to do one-on-one with the parent, just so I can get a feel of what is your family dynamic? What do
Yeah.
you like to do? And then I work my plan around them because it's about the kid. At the end of the day, mom can't poop or pee for the child.
Right.
So you can take them to the potty, you can encourage them, you can do whatever you think that you can to
Mhm.
get them there. But at the end of the day, they hold the power on releasing.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's beautiful to know. I mean, I'm really amazed that you are doing all of this for these families, and I know that the families have to have some sense of resolve when meeting with you because you're making it personal for them.
Yes.
You're not, just throwing something at them and saying like, "This is what you need to do," and
Right.
when you're finished,
Right.
they'll be good. You're actually catering to them, and you're hearing what it is that they desire for their children to do, and you're making sure that you create your courses or your sessions or your lessons however you want to
Personalized. I
yes,
definitely personalize it for
yes.
them. And sometimes I have clients who we have an initial meeting
Hmm.
and they're good and their kid is potty trained, and in a year or so I'll hear back from them and they're like, they're regressing, what's happening? We were good. And I'm just like, hey, things happen.
Hmm.
Things happen. And then night training, this is a whole different story. I'll have families who day train, and then when it's time for night training, it's just like, okay, I can't get my kid to stay dry at night. And then you just never know the dynamic. Like, is this kid in a crib? And you want them, and I'm, going like really in depth here.
Yeah.
If your child is in a crib and you're potty training, they have to have access to get out in order to go. So if
That's
you
good to
know
know.
that you're not switching to a toddler bed just yet, then leave night training alone because that's a hindrance right there. There's no way you can expect that kid to climb. Of course, maybe they can climb out, yes, but can they get to the potty, soon
Yeah.
enough? That kind of thing. So
Yeah.
just you have to think it through and have a plan and make sure that you're actually ready, like fully ready.
Hmm.
Not start, stop, but you're actually ready to give it your all.
Yeah, that's good. Now, with such a focus towards generational wealth and independence, we're seeing many new Black businesses push the bar with educational resources, knowing it starts with the baby. What is your end goal for your business?
My end goal is to open up a potty training school.
Mhm.
I have so many clients who come to me and they're just nervous and they're at their end with. They're just like, I have a kid who has to start daycare and they won't take them unless they're potty trained. And
Wow.
I'm just like, this is the biggest learning curve in a toddler's life. And
Yeah,
you're trying to tell me
absolutely.
there are centers out there that won't support potty training. You either have to pay more or
Mhm.
you have to keep your child home if they're not potty trained. And I think that's very unfair. So I want to create a potty training school. Yes, I'll have a curriculum with, the ABCs and all of that.
Yes.
But my lesson plans, my curriculum will be centered, around potty training just to give family. And it doesn't have to be a long term where you go to the school for the whole year.
Hmm.
But if you have a kid and you need a 3-day plan where you need to come for 3 days just to, get rid of the anxiety, just whatever they need to work on, I want to create that environment for them.
That's awesome. Now, how soon do you see that happen? 1 year, 2 years,
Uh,
3 years?
I try not to put time on things.
Yeah.
Even with potty training, I tell parents, don't put a time on it.
Hmm.
I don't like hearing when parents go, I want to potty train you in 2 weeks. And then it doesn't happen in 2 weeks and you're disappointed.
Yeah.
And then you get so anxious and then you center that onto your child and
Right.
they're anxious and then you're all the way back to stage one. So
Hmm.
I I pray, I
Yeah.
leave it in God's hands,
Hmm.
and when the time is right, then it will happen.
I like that answer. I like it, and I think that it's going to happen sooner than you think.
I hope so. I do hope so.
I honestly believe that it's going to happen sooner than you think.
I hope so.
Are you a mobile organization, or can interested individuals come to you?
So I don't have an actual building or an office right now. I can go to clients' homes, but due to COVID, I've been doing mostly online,
Hmm.
Zoom calls, Google, phone calls, mostly phone calls.
Okay.
Um, So yeah, I will definitely have a place soon.
Yes.
But right now,
I
let's
agree.
speak it into existence. I will definitely have a place soon where people can come. But for right now, it's just mostly online.
Okay. Well, Tricia, I want to thank you so much for spending time with us today. And before we let you go, I just have one more question for you. Where can interested individuals go to find out more about Miss Sia's potty training?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Mrs. Potty Training Camp and on Facebook. And you can email me at Mrs. Potty Training Camp 77 at gmail.com.
Well, you heard it here, guys. Thanks again for tuning in to Own Being Unique TV, where we have the opportunity of highlighting individuals who take ownership of who they are by operating in their uniqueness. Until next time.